This is the I Can Do Anything podcast. My name is Colin. I figured I would start the episode off with a short little Kobe Bryant tribute. I really don't have too much to say that hasn't already been said, unless you've got like personal relationships with people that die, or personal anecdotal stuff that kind of sheds some light on who somebody was as a person. I obviously didn't know or ever share any time with Kobe Bryant, so I don't really have anything to speak to Kobe Bryant's character other than the things that I'm sure you've heard, but really fucking tragic. I heard in the grocery store in line, Beatty got a call from one of her friends, and I could just tell by the look on her face that something was wrong. I immediately was like, what the fuck is going on? You're making me nervous. I kind of assumed it was like, I don't know, someone in her family or something that something bad happened to. And she just kind of mouthed, Kobe Bryant died. And I was like, what? No. And I didn't have any notifications on my phone. I have a shit ton of sports and news notifications that I get every single day. And there was nothing there. And I immediately just Googled it. And obviously it was like the first several stories. That little piece that I put together was something that I shot a couple years ago at my old place. That was what I had on the wall. It was a Slam. I think they're called Forever editions. It's like a Slam edition. I have the LeBron one that they put out a couple years ago as well. It's just a collection of stories and really awesome photos of Kobe Bryant in a full magazine. When I bought the LeBron one and the Kobe one, I bought two of each, so that one that I could cut up and put on my wall, and another that I could have just as a magazine to look at. But yeah, that was like a little Kobe shrine that I put together for a Solo Colo episode, a series that I used to do a couple years back, as like just a cool little montage piece. My room was full of basketball photos at that old place, so something that I put together a couple of years ago that I thought of. I was amazed. The thing that amazed me the most, or that continues to amaze me the most when people of this magnitude pass away, is how fast these videos come together and how fast these tribute. I mean, the thing that I want now, ABC is a whole nother beast, but the tribute that ABC did for like a full hour segment with Robin Roberts and Michael Strahan and Tom Rinaldi. I mean, the way that they pull all that stuff, pull photos, and I don't know. I always am amazed at how fast those things come together. But yeah, fucking rest in peace to Kobe Bryant. That shit is sad. I didn't cry for like a full week, but I could always feel it kind of bubbling up. And the night that they finally played a home game at Staples and did that like what seemed like an hour-long tribute, that's when I cried for the first time. And yeah, I don't know. I don't even like I got sick of watching stuff after a couple of days. It just kept making me fucking sad. Yeah. Fucking sucks. But basketball continues, and that's what Kobe Bryant would have wanted. Basketball, it was just cool to see all those. It was cool and sad to see all the really creative ways that people were that day and the days to come. It was cool to see people paying tribute and doing the little moments of silence in the middle of games, taking shot clock violations, all that stuff. But yeah, it was just sad to continue to watch that stuff, and there was really no way to avoid it. But sometimes you got to face the emotions face on, and that's what Kobe Bryant would have wanted basketball to continue. That's the bottom line, and it is. It's cool to see that they're going to do some stuff for him at the AllStar Game. Speaking of the AllStar Game, maybe this is a way to segue the fuck on out of this Kobe stuff, because it's too much for me at times. But the All-Star picking the All-Star draft, that's what it is. The All-Star draft starts in 1 minute. Oh, it just turned 7 o'clock. The All-Star draft begins pretty much now, and my Wi-Fi is out, so I'm going to try to pull it up here on the old telephone. Maybe I can do some talk and watch during this little draft here. Before I get to that, I should move into trade deadline stuff. There's been a lot. So the trade deadline, I believe, just ended at 6:00 Eastern time. And you know what? I can't talk about both of these things at the same time because all I got is my phone using the cellularness because I don't have Wi-Fi right now. My coworker lives 10 minutes from me and says that he doesn't have Wi-Fi. He says that no TV providers or no like Wi-Fi providers do Wi-Fi in his area. I just can't imagine that that's true. It doesn't make any sense to me. TNT, sorry, we're having trouble playing this video right now. Oh, really? Come on. No, don't do this. Well, anyway, trade deadline. So the first things that I saw were obviously the really big trade, and I'll talk about that, the 4-team trade. I'll talk about that here momentarily, but the first thing that I saw was Dillon Brooks talking about getting Kellen Winslow, and I believe that was in that big trade. I didn't even watch the video like out of the gate when I saw this. I just figured I'd talk about it on the podcast. I just saw now we have a player that we're getting ready, or that we're getting that actually wants to play with us and thinks we're good. Dillon Brooks reacts to the Iggy trade. And I just saw Dillon Brooks standing there talking to the reporter by his locker, and when I don't know, it's so stupid. I just immediately was like, without even listening to him, just the way he looks in this video, I just thought to myself, dude, what? Shut up.
And obviously, you got some attention the other night for the comments about Iguodala. Are you glad that there's at least, there's finally a resolution to that?
Yeah, for sure. Now we have a player that we're getting that actually wants to play with us and thinks we're good. And, keep the ball rolling.
And in terms of Justice, 23 years old, talent, just how do you see him meshing with this young core that you guys have?
I see him fitting in real well. He likes to get on the break, make plays for his teammates. We played him the first game and he killed us. So, I'm glad that, we have him on our team. He can hit an open three. He's very intelligent, very smart. And he can find guys. We need that. Coming into this next stretch.
Okay, that's enough.
Thank you.
Anyway, I don't know. I didn't ever hear his. Apparently, he made some comments that I don't know. Maybe prior to the trade, I didn't ever see the comments that he made prior to the trade. But yeah, Jimmy, I don't know. It's the Memphis has they've now got a pretty decent young core. Ja Morant looks really fucking good. He's probably going to win Rookie of the Year. He seems like a unique guy. He just seems like he kind of seems like Kyrie, like Kyrie was a little bit. I fell in love with him when he destroyed Kyrie early on in the season, blocked a shot at the buzzer, played so much better than him down the stretch, and did not back down from Kyrie as a rookie. I gained a lot of respect from him early on in his rookie year this year, and they've got a great young core between him and Jaren Jackson, and now Justice Winslow. Dillon Brooks is decent at times. He's a viable. He's capable. He's competent for the most part. But Memphis, I don't know. What I don't understand is how Dillon Brooks can't see it from Andre Iguodala's standpoint. He's on his way out. He's been playing on championship contenders for the last 5+ years, mainly in Golden State. But what I don't get is how, as Dillon Brooks in that situation, you can't see it from Iguodala's perspective. you guys aren't winning a championship this year. Does he not realize that? I mean, these guys all have to be a little delusional. Like, you got to play the game like you think you're going to win it all. But there's the delusion to a point. Like, at a certain point, you got to be a little realistic with yourself as well. It's important to set attainable goals. You can't, like, I don't know. Memphis's coaches can't really think that it's realistic for them to. I mean, they're teetering in the playoffs right now. I don't even know. In a lot of ways they're overachieving. I don't think most people would have thought that Memphis would even be. I believe they're an 8 seed or maybe a 9 seed, but I think most people, myself included, without looking at the standings right now, wouldn't have thought that they'd be at the position that they're at. Oh, so in the West, in the West, Memphis is the 8th seed currently, ahead of Portland and San Antonio, who I think will. I mean, Portland has been slowly playing a lot better, even since they got Melo. I mean, they've improved quite a bit. I don't remember where they were at when they got Melo, but I know they dropped off early and then have slowly worked their way up the standings. But Memphis, I mean, they're not going to make the playoffs. I think if you're Memphis, it's a realistic, like, this is your goal. Your goal this year, well, let's make the playoffs. Let's compete a little bit in the playoffs. Let's win a game or two in the playoffs. I think that's a successful season for Memphis. And I don't really, again, they got to have a little bit of an unrealistic, they got to have some delusion, in order to accomplish, in order to win a championship, somebody's got to think they're going to win it all. I don't know. I don't fucking know. But I thought that those comments early on from Dillon Brooks in this whole trade deadline thing were at least a little interesting. So the big trade is the DAngelo Russell and Andrew Wiggins trade. I saw that Minnesota has already posted a hype video for DAngelo Russell.
The journey that I've been through, the stretch, the pain, it's just tough, man. It's a surreal moment that I can't really explain.
And I'll tell you one name that would be incredibly remarkable. DAngelo Russell.
You must go DAngelo Russell here, or my hands would explode.
Came in very sure of himself. I knew that he had a chance to be a great, great player.
The Los Angeles Lakers select DAngelo Russell from The Ohio State University.
It's a great video. The production is amazing. It's just funny. Again, I don't know. From a marketing standpoint, this is great. You're building up hype. You're trying to sell tickets. I get it from that perspective. They have to do it. Again, the Timberwolves got to release a cool hype video. It's all about gaining traction on social media, putting asses in the seats, right? From a marketing perspective. But I'm here to tell you, Minnesota, DAngelo Russell and Karl Anthony Towns ain't it. They're just not. It's not going to happen. That's not the future. I don't know if DAngelo Russell has ice in his veins. He's played pretty good in some pretty meaningless games in the regular season. I would buy this. I would buy that DAngelo Russell is built for this, and I would buy that he has ice in his veins if he's played well. If he'd ever played well in a playoff game, this is a more realistic video for somebody like Damian Lillard, who hasn't won a championship yet, has proven that they have ice in their veins, and they're ready to take the next step. They're ready for the next chapter. I don't know about DAngelo Russell, man. Ever since the Snapchat thing, I lost all faith in DAngelo Russell. I never really had a ton in him. He was great at Ohio State. He certainly was really good for the year that he was there, but I didn't quite understand leaving early. I mean, obviously it's turned out pretty great. He's making millions and millions of dollars playing well in the NBA. But I thought he could have used a little more, I don't know. Playing in the NBA is a great way to mature as well. But you get a little more attention paid to you in college. You get a little more personal connections with coaches, and there's just a little more character building that goes on in college. But it's funny to me that Minnesota thinks that DAngelo Russell is their piece for the next chapter. So I want to go over let's go over the 4-person trade between, let's see, it was the Rockets, the Timberwolves, I believe. I don't know. So obviously the big one, DAngelo Russell in Minnesota, and Andrew Wiggins goes to Golden State. I did see that he was pretty excited about that as well. Andrew Wiggins goes to Golden State, a 2021 first-round pick and a 2022 second-round pick. The T-Wolves get Jacob Evans, DAngelo Russell, and Amari Spellman. Andre Iguodala to Miami. Seems like the Andre Iguodala trade involved multiple teams. Gorgie Jang and Dion Waiters and Justice Winslow go to Memphis. Jay Crowder. Oh, wow, I didn't see that. Jay Crowder, Andre Iguodala, and Solomon Hill go to the Heat. And James Johnson goes, I believe, from the Heat. He wasn't playing really at all. From the Heat to the Timberwolves in that trade as well. So I don't know. That's a good piece for the Timberwolves. Again, that is not the solution. Andre Drummond goes to the Cavaliers, and the Pistons get John Henson, Brandon Knight, and Cleveland or Golden State's 2023 second-round pick. Interesting trade there. I saw reports that they were that Houston was trying to get Tristan Thompson. This doesn't make Cleveland any better, and it obviously doesn't make the Pistons any better. The Pistons are clearly they're clearly working on a rebuild. I mean, this is step one of maybe trying to rebuild a little bit. Andre Drummond is a great backup center in the league now. He is a phenomenal backup center now, but he's not going to be your center on a championship team. It's just not going to happen. He's not effective enough on offense. He's great defensively. I feel the same way about Andre Drummond that I feel about DeAndre Jordan. It's just, he'd be a great backup center that played a ton of minutes, but he's not going to be the best center. So Marcus Morris Sr. goes to the Clippers. I think the Lakers really missed out again. Marcus Morris Sr. is going to be great on the Clippers. They just got so much better. But they lost Mo Harkless, a 2020 first-round pick. Doesn't matter. They're trying to win right now, and they don't need first-round picks. They're in the process of building a championship team, and that doesn't involve first-round draft picks unless it's a generational guy like Zion that could come in and have an impact right away. But even Zion is going to need some time to mature. The Knicks got a bunch of draft picks. 2021 first-round swap via the Clippers. Detroit's 2021 second-round pick via the Clippers, and rights to Yusuf Sanon. And then the Wizards got Jerome Robinson. Bleacher Report, this article that I'm looking through, gives the Clippers an A+. I mean, no shit. They definitely got better. I'm not going to read through what Bleacher Report has to say, because this is the I Can Do Anything podcast. Okay, so Rockets, Hawks, Nuggets, and Wolves. The four team brain buster. Yeah, it really is a brain buster. There's just a lot going on here. When I initially read it, my initial thought was nobody got better. Nobody. I don't know. Nobody changed the landscape of their franchise this season. Denver is on the cusp, and Houston is on the cusp as contenders. Denver hasn't played as well this year as they did last year, but they don't get any better. They lost Malik Beasley, Hernan Gomez. I believe that's it. Yeah, I believe that's it. So they lose Malik Beasley and Hernan Gomez. They go to Minnesota along with Evan Turner from, I'm not even sure where Evan Turner was, Jared Vanderbilt, and Brooklyn's 2020 first round pick, which is a lottery pick. So Minnesota does get another lottery pick to go along with their new next chapter. And Malik Beasley is a solid wing. Evan Turner's now an NBA vet who, can be a solid. I kind of think of Evan Turner as a guy that could potentially, I don't think he's nearly as good as Sean Livingston, but I kind of see him in that same light. A great, versatile wing guy that can handle the ball if you need to. He can come in and play point guard for 5 minutes, and then when Steph comes back in, you can keep him on the floor and he can play a wing. In this case, he could play point guard while you rested DAngelo Russell, and then he can, DAngelo Russell can come back in and Evan Turner can play maybe 5 more minutes as a wing. So he's a versatile guy. Denver receives Keita Bates-Diop, Gerald Green, Shabazz Napier, Noah Vonleh. Gerald Green is good, I guess. He's an energy guy. He's in some ways a 3-and-D guy. He's not consistent enough for me to call him a 3-and-D guy, but certainly a pretty good scorer when you need him to be. He can't create for himself, but he can knock down some shots. Again, just all these guys are just fringe backup guys, and I don't think they make I don't like Gerald Green isn't making the difference for Denver. I think they lost more than they got. And then the Hawks get Clint Capella and Nene, and Houston gets Jordan Bell, Robert Covington. I don't know. Robert Covington's a good 3-and-D guy, and and Houston needs that. Houston, I don't know. Yeah, they need more defense. That's what they lost when they lost. He's playing for the Suns right now. I don't remember his name. Let me pull up the NBA app. Where's he at? Suns roster? Oh, no, he's not on the Suns. Wait, is he on the Suns? He's not on the Suns. What? Maybe he was part of a trade that I haven't seen yet. Anywho, the Rockets needed some defense. I don't know. I was never big on Clint Capella, so I don't know. Losing Clint Capella to me doesn't really matter. I don't know. Keeping him or losing him, it doesn't. Like Jordan Bell, I think can do the same things that Clint Capella. He's not quite as athletic. He's not quite as good at what Clint Capella did, but he can do that. I don't think that Jordan Bell can't set a pick, roll to the basket, and dunk a lob from James Harden. He can't. Jordan Bell can run the floor, catch a pass, and dunk it. That's really all they need from that position. They played Clint Capella way too much. And Atlanta, I don't know. He'll be good with Trae Young. I mean, don't get me wrong. They're not gonna. It doesn't change the landscape of their franchise, though. But not every trade at the trade deadline can change the landscape of a franchise or of the NBA. There's certain trades that change the landscape of the NBA as a whole. I mean, we saw that this year in free agency. So let's see. Philadelphia acquires floor spacing from Golden State. So Golden State gets a bunch of draft picks, and Philadelphia gets Alec Burks and Glenn Robinson III. Yeah, that makes sense. That's a great move for the Warriors. You know, it's really so. Yeah, I don't know. So getting rid of, I don't know about the Warriors. I mean, getting Wiggins is nice, I guess. He's just not he doesn't fit with, I don't know where he fits in with Clay and Steph. I just don't know how that works. He's not a good enough shooter. He's like a not even as good Harrison Barnes. Like, he's not Kevin Durant, obviously. And if he's not Kevin Durant, he's not even Harrison Barnes. You know, like, he's not a consistent enough shooter. Harrison Barnes is a far better scorer, in my opinion, than Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins may be more athletic, but at least they get some draft picks, and could potentially get some good talent. But as far as the 76ers go in that trade, Alec Burks and Glenn Robinson III, again, not changing the landscape of that franchise. Bleacher Report has it graded as an A. I think they both win in this case. I think they both get a positive. Dwayne Dedmon and Hawks reunite. That doesn't matter. Jabari Parker goes to Sacramento. Again, not even almost worth talking about. Almost worth talking about. So Jordan Bell went to Memphis and then went to Houston. There was a trade earlier that he was involved in. Again, not even worth mentioning. James Ennis goes to Orlando for a second-round pick. Not even worth mentioning. Jordan McRae and Shabazz Napier in a guard swap. Portland gets tax relief from Atlanta. They get rid of a $2 million Scal. I don't even know. I'm not going to try to pronounce that. And they get a second-round 2024 pick. It's getting a little slim pickings here, so I think that about wraps up the trade talks. What else is there to talk about? I really haven't watched a ton of NBA basketball lately. I've been pretty busy with work. The scholarship gala is this weekend, and I've been busy with those videos and just living my life for the most part, you know. I guess living my life can consist of watching basketball, but I've been watching more college basketball, actually, over the last month or so since I've recorded one of these things. It's been a little bit. Michigan State's playing like shit. It's not making my father happy, I'll tell you that much. My dad went to school there, so it's fair. I have emotionally detached myself from Michigan State basketball, I think. Last year when they went to the Final Four, I felt really great. But I would have cried years ago in love of joy, just been so happy. I think that if they won the national championship last year, I definitely would. I definitely would have been really fucking happy. But I don't know. I feel like I still really care, you know. I still really want Michigan State to play well, obviously. But I don't think it makes you less of a fan if you emotionally detach yourself from. I'm not going to let a basketball game ruin my day. I'm not going to let a basketball game just ruin my mood and make me treat the people around me like shit, or just not be fun and not enjoy myself because Michigan State lost. I don't know. I'm just not close enough to it. I did all that shit as a kid. Fucking loved it. Really, really heavily followed Michigan State as I was much closer to the game of basketball. I guess I'm still pretty close. I don't play anymore, obviously, but I'm still close to the game. I still watch it a lot, but the NBA is just a far more mature style of basketball. I don't know. At times, fucking NBA players are far from mature. BD every once in a while would be like, can we watch college basketball? I just don't want to watch people complain after every single call. And that does get really old. I'm not one to complain about the NBA very much. I think it's by far, maybe with the exception of Premier League soccer in England, I think it's by far professional sports league in the world. I really don't even think it's close. I think Premier League is second in my opinion, but the NBA, and obviously that's an opinion statement. But yeah, the complaining gets a little old. But yeah, Michigan State's not been playing well. And I don't know. I was saying over the weekend, I was with my parents over the weekend, and I was saying that, like, there's not a clear, I obviously haven't watched a ton of college basketball, but there's just not a clear guy in college basketball like last year with Zion Williamson that should win Player of the Year. I think in a lot of people's eyes, maybe Cassius Winston was as close to, like, I think he was probably most people's prediction for Player of the Year at the beginning of the season. But, you know, he's played well. He hasn't gotten any help. They're too young. Michigan State's too young. They're just too young. Cassius is a senior. Arns off the bench is a senior. But other than that, it's like not Justice Winslow. Wow, their big man Tillman is a junior, and other than that, they got Winslow and Tillman. And why am I saying Winslow? Winston. That's why I'm saying it. Cassius Winston, not Winslow. This trade stuff is seared in my head, apparently. Yeah, Michigan State's not playing well enough for Cassius Winston to win Player of the Year right now. He can certainly turn it around. There's a lot of basketball left. But I think that about wraps it up today for the I Can Do Anything podcast. Maybe a shorter episode than usual. You know what? No, it doesn't. No, it fucking doesn't. I just got notifications that the All-Star Draft results are in. That thing's over already, apparently. It's now 7:28. So, Team LeBron, Anthony Davis, Joel Embiid, Kawhi Leonard. I assume this is in order. I'm sort of amazed. Wow. Oh, that makes sense. Wow. If this is in order... Oh, okay. First rounders, starters. So, I was reading this wrong. So, Anthony Davis goes to LeBron. Then Giannis picked Joel Embiid. Then LeBron picked Kawhi Leonard. I was thinking that this was LeBron's team and this little second stanza was Kawhi's team, but this is first round. I thought Kawhi went like fifth. So LeBron takes Kawhi second. Giannis takes Siakam fourth. Interesting. Embiid, I think, was right. I like the Embiid. If Embiid, I don't know if I don't even know if Embiid's playing again. But that finger injury that Embiid had was brutal. So Siakam goes fourth. LeBron takes Doncic fifth. Kemba Walker. Oh, that's right. They got to go by the people that were picked as starters. That's right. I didn't agree with all the starter selections, but I didn't even vote this year. I usually vote every year, and I just never did it for some reason. So LeBron takes Doncic, Giannis takes Kemba Walker, James Harden goes second to last. That's interesting. So Harden was chose before Siakam, Doncic, and Kemba Walker. So James Harden goes to LeBron, and Trae Young goes. That's a steal for LeBron. What is that? His third, fourth, as his fifth pick, or as his fourth pick. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, and then in the second round, Giannis obviously with the first pick of the second round takes Middleton, his teammate. Damian Lillard goes to LeBron. Bam Adebayo Bam Adebayo over Simmons. Jokic, Jimmy Butler over Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook goes third to last. Interesting. Bam Adebayo to Giannis. Ben Simmons to LeBron. Rudy Gobert to Giannis. Jokic to LeBron. Jimmy Butler to Giannis. Tatum to LeBron. Kyle Lowry to Giannis, Chris Paul to LeBron, Brandon Ingram to Giannis, Russell Westbrook to LeBron, Donovan Mitchell to Giannis, and Sabonis. I can't believe Sabonis is an all-star. Yeah, I don't know. He's playing well, but just there's always one guy in the all-star game. Sometimes there's a couple that just don't feel like all-star game guys, you know? And Sabonis is definitely that one this year. Although he's playing, he just doesn't, I don't know, he just doesn't fit that like all-star mold. So that is your all-stars for the all-star game where one team will wear, I believe it's Team LeBron will wear number 2, and then Team Giannis will wear number 24. I don't know if like all the players are going to do that, but again, a cool little tip of the cap to the late great Kobe Bryant. That feels weird to say that. Tonight, the Bucks and the 76ers begin in a half hour at 8, and then Lakers and Rockets at 8:30 on national television. I'll hopefully watch both of those. BD and I are going to watch the Lakers game from Tuesday, where LeBron played really well down the stretch in the fourth quarter. We didn't get to watch that again because the Wi-Fi was fucking out. And I'm excited to watch that one tonight. I don't know when I'll be back. I got a busy weekend this weekend. But thanks for listening. Have a great fucking night.